Welcome back to another video. Clocked Out Sports at it again. Lots and lots to talk about. Middle of the season. It's almost Thanksgiving, people. So I am grateful that the NFL is just as interesting as it was years and years ago. Okay, I'm Z Shaw.
I'm Jay.
I'm Jay Nice.
John's going by Jay Nice. So
Jay Nice.
we're reacting to Colin Cowherd's which quarterbacks under 25 would you give the bag to? And the list goes: Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Penix, Purdy, C.J. Stroud, Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young. If you had to pay these guys right now $250 million with $140 guaranteed, who are you paying? And so I asked everyone, give me your top three quarterbacks. My top three: Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, and Drake May. Jaden Daniels took a below-average roster to the NFC Championship game and backpacked his way there. Drake May, I always thought he was the most talented quarterback in the 2024 draft class, and you got to reward talent and production. And CJ Stroud, he's won 2 division titles, 2 playoff games, and he's had a bad O-line for most of his NFL career. And those are the only quarterbacks I give the bag to. Jay, who are your quarterbacks?
So I actually kind of separated this into tiers. The number one tier I have is the guys that I would give the bag to right now, 100%. And the first guy, I'm going to agree with you, CJ Stroud. He's already a top 8 quarterback, processing, accuracy, poise. He checks every box. And to me, he's the safest investment on this list. Number 2, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams because I think that he's the highest raw talent in the group. And he has the creativity, he has the arm angles, he has the off-script magic. I think he's low-key elite. He just has to become a little more polished. And then I just feel like that ceiling is ridiculous. So I'd go with Caleb Williams second. And then last but not least, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. That's where we disagree. Yeah, listen, I hear it. The system quarterback stuff, I get it. He's been injured. He's been a bit inconsistent. But he runs that system better than anybody. He's efficient. He's decisive. He is playoff proven. He's been in the big game. I think he absolutely earns the contract, and he's just coming off an injury. So we'll see how he plays, but give it to Brock Purdy.
250? Bro, he guys getting paid $53 million a year. That is way overpriced, bro. He is scamming the Niners. Some like crypto bro scams out here. Are you serious?
He's gotten to the Super Bowl, Z.
Jimmy Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl, and look where he's at. QB2 for the Rams.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But I feel like when Purdy is healthy, he produces just enough to at least get a bag. I mean, I think he's their franchise guy. Do you not think he's their franchise guy?
I think he's their franchise guy. I'm not giving him 50 mil. I was going to give him 42. I think 42 would be fair. 50 is a lot. Like, that extra 10 is a lot of money. That could be spent on an extra defensive player, an O-lineman, another weapon. I mean, Purdy is efficient, yes, because he knows Shanahan's system. But it's really easy to hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, establish the run game, throw it to Kittle, throw it to prime Debo on a screen, and let Debo get 50 yards. It's really easy to get your stats inflated when you have the Avengers on your side. When he didn't have them last year, they won 6 games. And yes, Purdy put up big stats, but was he putting up big stats in the first half? Or on script? Was he putting it in the second quarter, third quarter? Or was he putting it up big stats in garbage time? I don't really know because I wasn't watching every Niners game. But at the same time, it's like he's a good quarterback that needs a system, needs a lot of support to be great, to have great numbers.
That's fair. It's fair. It's not a horrible take. But I would to take him instead of Drake May just because he's been proven. I do agree. Drake May has a big body, big arm, big upside, 6'4", 225. You can't beat that, but he's just not fully polished yet. He's had, theoretically, I mean, this is his like breakout year. He's playing very well now, but does it sustain? That's my biggest question.
That's fair. But also, I got asked, Drake May is playing better than Caleb Williams right now. And Caleb Williams has had like a rough start to the year. He had a decent rookie year, but it was also like, people didn't think very highly of him after his rookie year. Caleb's have been missing easy layups, easy throws. Ben Johnson has been frustrated by him. So it's like, you give the bag to the horsepower, to the potential of Caleb, right?
Yes.
Listen, that's fair. But if I had to go off talent or potential, it'd be Drake May. Because at least Drake May is almost as talented, if not just as talented, but he's produced more.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I had the same 3 as Z. I had Jaden Daniels, Drake May, CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels. I mean, it could just be obviously the homer pick for me and Z, but we haven't had a solid quarterback probably since the RG3 rookie season, and Kirk Cousins had, I think, a couple good years with us, putting up big numbers. But he can make all the tight window throws. He's taken us to the championship game, or took the Commanders to the championship game last year with not a really great supporting cast around him. Drake May could be recency bias this season, but like you said, he's got the build, he's got the height, he's got the arm strength. He's playing really well this year. I don't think anyone thought the Patriots were going to be chance to beat the Bills and win that division. So he's got them playing. Offense is clicking, and then CJ Stroud, just as he said, 2 division titles. Never really had a great O-line, kind of similar to maybe Joe Burrow a little bit there, where he's doing it without a good line in front of him. He's got the build too, and Jaden with his health this year, it's a little worrisome. He's had a couple minor, injuries here and there. Obviously, the elbow injury is kind of a freak. You just put your arm down and it snaps the wrong way. But if Jaden can stay healthy, I think he's proven that he has he can make those tight window throws. And then just a little bit on Brock Purdy, because I know that's where we kind of disagreed with you, Jay. I think that it almost reminds me a little bit of Jalen Hurts, where he's got a great supporting cast around him. And, if you put Purdy on a team like the Bengals, on a team like the Texans, I don't know if he's as successful as those other quarterbacks.
That's why I love you, John. You and I think alike. I was thinking the same thing. That's why you love Purdy, because yes, he did go to the Super Bowl. Yes, he does have a great system, but he's a good, not great quarterback. Thank you, John.
Yeah, well, he didn't win the Super Bowl, so that would separate him from Jalen Hurts. He didn't go in there and put up an MVP caliber performance in the Super Bowl. So that's the difference.
I mean, you're right. Purdy didn't make the last play of the game. He overthrew or underthrew Juwan Jennings. So definitely, yes, Hurts is a step above Purdy, but they're in the similar weight class.
I would say the only reason I would disagree is because I just don't like when we look at the Eagles as a whole, and you look at Jalen Hurts and the narrative surrounding the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and you look at who we'll talk about later, AJ Brown and his frustrations. I don't understand what is Hurts leaning on exactly. Last year, he's leaning on Saquon Barkley. Even before Saquon got here, he has AJ Brown. But if the criticism is that he's not using his receivers, then who's winning the games? Defense?
We're not saying that Hurts can't put up points at all, or is like trash like Carson Wentz. No, Hurts can put up points. He's a good quarterback. But I would love to bring this up, everyone. Go to the Monday Night Football game. Go to the third quarter. 9:43 left in the game. Tied 0-0 on the Packers' 25-26 yard line. It's 3rd and 12. Eagles have the ball. And what does Kevin Patullo call? A run to Will Shipley? Instead of trying to throw it past the sticks for a first down? Why would you run it, Kevin Patullo, you might ask? Now I know I'm being an asshole, and why would you need to run it if you're trying to get in field goal range? You're already in field goal range. It's because, in my theory, Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, who know Jalen Hurts best, do not trust him to throw the ball for a first down in that situation, because the Eagles' offense was struggling. John, what do you think? Quickly. Then Jay, because I know we got a lot to talk.
No, I mean, it's a good point. I didn't watch much of the game, but I mean, if it's 0-0 and you're 3rd and 12, maybe you're playing it safe there just to guarantee yourself points, because it was a low-scoring affair. But no, that's a fair take. I want to hear what Jay has to say.
The idea that Jalen Hurts is not trusted by Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo after he went out there and was the Super Bowl MVP against the best quarterback in the league is absolute bullshit. Let's be real, bro. It's bullshit. Let's be real, because I think that it's a lot more about a lack of cohesiveness with the offense and the play calling rather than Jalen's talent and his arm. I think that Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni are just bad play callers. I don't think that it has anything to do with trust or anything like that, because why would you not trust a guy who proved that he can do something? It makes no sense.
But, I mean, you're right. Sirianni and Patullo are bad play callers. We can all agree on that.
I agree.
But with the trust factor comes in is your play calls and putting your players in a position to succeed, or is telling a player to go make a play. This was a perfect opportunity to say, hey, Hurts, you got to throw the ball. Throw it 15 yards. I don't know. But they didn't trust him. They didn't call that play. So it's like, Jay, why would they call run play in that situation, though? Why?
I don't know. It's been bad play calling, but it's also speculation. We don't know that for a fact that it's because they don't trust him. I just think that they go off of analytics and what they think might be the smart thing to do. And in hindsight, it's 2020, so obviously it didn't work out well. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it being a lack of trust with Jalen. I just think it's bad play calling.
We're here to stir the pot. We're analysts. We're supposed to come in here with some theories and like make shit up. This is our storytelling here, man.
I get that, but at the end of the day,
This is your guy. If you're defending him, I get it, but like.
Yeah, no, definitely defending him.
If you're the coach, are you throwing the ball or running it in that situation though, Jay? With her?
No, I'm throwing the ball. If I'm playing Madden, I'm throwing it. But if I don't throw it, or because when they didn't throw it, I just disagree with the fact that it's about Jalen Hurts and their trust towards him. I just think that they are trying to play it safe. And I think being conservative and play calling is like, it could be a detriment.
They're playing not to lose? You don't do that.
I don't know. I think when you analyze and you game plan for a team, you analyze and game plan for everything. So maybe they had some conversations during the week in practice where they were like, okay, in this situation, we're just going to try to get into field goal range and just try to play it safe. It was a very low scoring game. So I think if the Packers were out there scoring touchdown after touchdown, it'd be a different situation, but they weren't. So I think that they trusted, even if, we couldn't get a field goal, that, hey, we could still stop them on defense.
Let me ask this. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, we'll put Jaden, Herbert, Stafford. Are you trusting them to throw the ball? Of course. Those coaches all trust those quarterbacks to throw the ball past the sticks, 3rd and 12 in that situation. Like, there's no question. So it's just like, I'm going to use the Draymond Green example. You trust Steph Curry to shoot 33s a game, right? 30. You want him to shoot 33s. Do you trust Draymond to shoot 33s a game? No. You know what I mean?
This Draymond Green crap. I don't know why you love this comparison.
I don't know why you think it's an insult. Draymond Green is a Hall of Fame player.
I get that, but it's a horrible comparison with him and Jalen Hurts. They aren't even the same personality on the field.
I mean, no, I'm not talking about personality. I'm just talking about play style. They're glue guys. Their amount of production is very similar. Like what they do and how important they are for their team. We're not saying he's trash. We're just saying like he's good, and Philly fans are giving him more credit than he deserves.
Fine. How about this? Do the Wizards? Excuse me. Do the Golden State Warriors win the finals? Do they win the championship without Draymond Green? If we're gonna go with Draymond Green,
no. And I will say the Eagles probably don't win the Super Bowl without Jalen Hurts because but he's not, like I said, he's the supporting guy, not the main guy.
But how is he a supporting guy? How is he a supporting guy if you don't win without him?
He's the glue. Glue guys aren't the best players, but they're
that's
like
what you want in a quarterback.
Listen, I could go down the list with like quarterbacks who aren't the best player on the team, though.
Listen, I do want to go back really quick because you made a point about Jalen Daniels when we were talking about the contracts. And I know that John had mentioned that, the injuries and stuff like that. To me, that's why you don't pay Jaden Daniels. That's why you don't pay him yet. I definitely think he's electric. He's dynamic. He's just, the durability matters. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to pay a guy who will go out and get injured because he's being a little too reckless. And that's where you got a separation between a guy like Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Jalen's not reckless with the ball. He's not reckless with his body. That's why pay Jalen. I mean, if Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels were in the same position, I'd pay Jalen Hurts before Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact that, like, he doesn't go out and get himself injured. He knows how to deliver when it matters. So, hey, man.
Jaden doesn't. Jaden doesn't.
Look at the championship game. No, apparently
was that his fault?
Did he fumble? It mattered.
Did he fumble 4 times? He didn't fumble.
It doesn't matter. That's when it matters. It's your job to put the team on your back, right? That's what makes a great quarterback, to be able to do it with nobody.
He did two games in a row, and then he
got blown out.
He went against a juggernaut.
Oh, stop it. We gotta move on.
Y'all say you're not a juggernaut, then you go out and say, oh, Devontae Smith, top 10, AJ Brown, top 5. It's like, how is that not like an elite wide receiver group? I'm
not saying it's not a juggernaut. I'm not saying we were definitely the best team in the league last year. However, so what? You're in the big position. You're here to do it. Do it. You
What do you
know,
mean,
we
so
faced
what?
we faced the Chiefs. Okay, that's a bigger juggernaut than us.
No, not
Why?
last year. Not last year. They were trash. You didn't think they were going to make the playoffs last year in the
You're
middle
right.
of the season. You
You're
said
right.
that on the
I
Final
did.
Four podcast.
It's still, but you still can't count them out. You know.
Those turnovers, Jaden threw one pick. It was a one-on-one with Terry and Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah.
And it was a 50-50 ball. Jaden did not fumble 4 times. He
No,
was
you're
moving
right.
he was moving the ball against the number 1 defense. And
You're right.
the other guys turned it over. And our
You're right.
defense was fucking shit.
You're right. No, you're right.
We let Saquon take it to the house first game.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think more so the contract talk, all I'm really talking about so far, because forget everything else, just the durability. You know, he's been hurt twice in a matter of a few weeks. So, you know, he's gotta protect himself. He's gotta learn how to protect himself. Playing hero ball doesn't get you nowhere.
Hero ball.
It's hero ball. It's hero ball.
He has to. With what
Hero
roster?
ball.
With what roster?
Okay.
With what roster? No, I'm serious.
I remember, I seem to recall a certain fan base getting overly happy because a certain washed up, overweight player was going to be your new receiver.
Overweight?
Yeah. Debo got fat. Let's be real.
John, he didn't get fat. Come on now.
I think that heel injury slowed him down, to be honest. The first couple weeks, he was getting a touchdown every single week. I don't think he's 100% healed from that heel injury that he had a couple weeks ago. But I will say, to Jay's point about Jaden, I know we're going on about this topic a long time, but I do think at least 2 of the times he's gotten injured was a hip drop tackle that was not flagged. And I do think the play calling at the end of the game that he obviously the elbow injury, if the coordinator's calling a read option, he's got to know, I don't care what, you're not going to win that game. You're just trying to get some momentum going into next week. You got to know to hand that ball off. I don't care. But you got to know as a play caller, too, if Jaden's such a competitor, he's never going to hand that off. He's going to make the read. And if the read is for him to keep it, that's on the play caller to not put him in a position where he's going to just want to score in the competitor that he is. But no, it's a fair point, Jay. The durability obviously is a concern. But, last year when he was able to stay healthy and upright for the most part, obviously he had the rib injury. He played through it for a couple weeks. But, yeah, I mean, the durability is definitely the number one concern. But I think he's reignited the fan base and DC, so we're behind him, and I think we pay him the bag for sure because he's given us the most exciting season that we've had in a long time.
Appreciate
I mean, if he stays healthy, I 100% agree for sure. A healthy Jaden Daniels, pay that man the bag, 100%.
Thank you for staying grounded, John. Now, Jay, since we're on the topic of a little bit of Eagles Commanders talk, what's going on with AJ Brown?
Okay, so I want to clear something up. Okay, here's the situation for those who don't know what we're talking about. AJ Brown was on a casual video game stream playing Madden with a friend of his. It wasn't, by the way, a media interview. It wasn't a press conference. Just him having fun, laughing, joking, venting about some offensive stuff casually. The cameras weren't really meant to be focused on him, and he wasn't supposed to be under a microscope. Some people have spun the story, and I know that you when we were going over the podcast notes today, you said that he called the season some shit. The media outlets reported that he said that it was a shit show. Both of those are false, by the way. What he actually said was for shit show, which is slang for show. Like somebody would say, for show. Yeah, man, for show. Okay? So I don't want anyone to mix it up. It's not a critique on the team or the season. Yes. With that said, I do believe that that AJ Brown is frustrated. I think there is a good reason for that. But he was very clear that it wasn't about Jalen Hurts multiple times. It wasn't about the team multiple times. He's frustrated with the offensive success or lack thereof. And that's totally understandable. Honestly, his frustration could even serve as motivation for the team as it's done in the past. And really, everyone's a little frustrated at times. Let's be 100% honest. AJ was just being AJ, venting, joking on a casual stream with his friend. Nothing serious. I don't think he owes anyone an apology, and it doesn't mean that the Eagles are going to jump to trade him. And that's what I have to say about it.
I'm going to disagree. We've seen a pattern of AJ Brown with quotes and body language and reading a book on the sidelines and mentioning what was the weakness of the Eagles team last year when you won the Super Bowl. He said it was the passing. He's got the theory is he has his ring. He's got his money. What else is there for him to look for? Jay, you would probably argue another ring. You'd be honestly, most people would say yes. You'd be right, but he could be chasing legacy, Hall of Fame. What else? What do you do, guy? What do you got to do to get in the Hall of Fame? Production, numbers, stats. Like the ring is great, but he also said, "Oh, what's up? What's up?"
No, I was saying, yeah, but just a little. You mentioned last year when he said passing. Listen, man. I think that AJ Brown of the Eagles will always be under media scrutiny. That's just what it is. There's always, especially when you have an extremely successful team, something to point at when a team is doing well or when a team starts to struggle. But I want to point something out. He said passing when they asked him what the weakness was of the offense. I agree, it was passing. He didn't say Jalen Hurts, just the overall passing offense. But he said that last year, and not long after that, or maybe before that, Tyreek Hill pretty much said that he didn't want to be on the team that he was on anymore, and no one said anything about that. So that's why
the Dolphins are some shit, though.
Huh?
The Dolphins suck, and we know Tua's a fraud.
Right. So the Dolphins, but that's my point, man. Like, I just don't understand it. It's like every time AJ says anything, yes, I think he should be more careful when he's saying stuff. The media is going to be looking to point at him. I think that AJ Brown, compared to the other receivers in the league, is very mature about the situation, honestly. And I think that he's actually probably the most level-headed thing. He said one word last year, and it became a national title. You know what I'm saying? It became, it's AJ Brown. What does it mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. He's frustrated. Any receiver would be frustrated. But I think he's way more frustrated with the play calling and the coaching than he is with his players or the team.
Let me just ask this. If he's still frustrated with the coaching, which has been a 2-year, maybe 3-year kind of thing, does that not affect the locker room, though? Like,
It didn't last year, did it?
I mean, you guys were so talented. It didn't matter.
Why do the goalposts have to move so often,
It's not moving. I'm giving you credit for being a juggernaut. How can you not accept that?
I agree. But, I don't think, we were a juggernaut when we had T.O. and Donovan McNabb, and we still lost the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
You won against prime Belichick and Brady. I mean, most people have lost that, though.
Yeah, no, I get that. And we were going against prime Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. What's the difference?
Oh, no. That Chiefs team was some shit. Come on. Jake, don't do that. That O-line sucked. If Mahomes has a bad O-line, he's not winning. He's proving against the Bucks and against the Eagles.
But they had a good defense.
Defense can only stay on the field so long. That's your argument with the defense, being tired as shit.
We blew a good defense out.
Who?
The Eagles.
Oh, the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Because your defense was so good. They shut that shit down. And also their O-line, you rushed 4, you dropped 7 in coverage, and got Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter getting instant pressure on Mahomes.
Listen, I'll say this. To your question, yes. I think that in some senses it can be a distraction. I think that in some senses it can create tension. But in this case, I think that it's just one of those things where we're going to see how it goes. We're just going to see how this all pans out. If it becomes too much of a distraction, we will not hesitate to trade AJ Brown for something better, maybe. You know what I'm saying? We already have, and to be honest, I'm going to be real. We don't need AJ Brown. We really don't. He's been not that productive this season. He's not really getting open that much. I don't know why people want Jalen Hurts to throw him a ball when he's not open, but he's just not open all the time. Brian Baldinger actually does a good breakdown of film for most NFL teams. And if you look at AJ Brown, he's rarely open unless you're talking about a comeback route or something like that. We have a number 1 in Devontae. So if it came down to it, AJ Brown had to go for whatever reason. I think Devontae could do more than enough good as a number 1, and then we throw Jahan Dotson in at number 2 and just call it a day, But I just think that this is once again the media making something of something that wasn't supposed to be something.
All right, John, should the Eagles trade AJ Brown? If you were Howie. Would you trade him?
I mean, yeah, as Jay's saying, if he becomes a distraction, then of course, because you got Jahan Dotson back there. Come on, man, he's hiding on the depth chart. Former Commander, walks around with a football all the time, glued to his hand, sticky hands, but couldn't do anything for us really. But hey, if it becomes a distraction for sure, I do think AJ Brown kind of has the stigma of being one of those diva receivers. So anything he says is going to be scrutinized. It's going to be blown up. Could be blown out of proportion. I do think he kind of has that stigma around him, and I think the media probably is spinning it because he's on a team that's 7-2. Like, hey, why are you saying anything that could be questioned when you're on a team that you could wrap up the division before December, and you're at and they're going to take any little thing he says and just kind of run with it and try to spin it.
All right.
I agree.
We got 10 minutes left, so let's talk non-NFC East talk. Matt LaFleur. Some Packers fans want him fired. I don't agree. But John, should the Packers move on from Matt LaFleur, former Commander coach, by the way?
Yeah, we have a lot of them out there, Z. I think the seat is warm. I'll say the seat is getting warmer. If you look back at the season so far, the first 2 weeks, they look like Super Bowl contenders, right? Beating Detroit, beating the Commanders after, everyone thought that was going to be a closer game than what it was when we were still fairly healthy going into that game. And then week 3, the wheels kind of come off a little bit, blow the fourth quarter lead to Cleveland. Week 4, obviously, is the tie, shootout, tons of chances to win for both teams, or they could have lost that too, but you tie Dallas. You get 2 tight wins after the bye, Cincinnati and Arizona. You look good against the Steelers, and now you've got 2 people would probably say bad losses, especially to the Panthers. And I think just the way that Eagles game played out, I'm not saying the Eagles are a bad team, but I think just that low-scoring affair, at home, they had some chances, some turnovers late. I think the seat is getting warm, and, I'm interested to see this weekend with Winston starting for the Giants, if he's able to kind of ignite that offense and give them a spark. Because, Rush just wasn't it anymore for that team. You could just tell the players, like, it wasn't working for them. I think that's why Dart gave them such a spark. I think Winston might be able to have a spark, getting back in there too. He can give you 4 touchdowns and 4 picks. That's the Winston show. That's why we all love him. He's going to throw it and sling it out there. So, I mean, I'm really interested to see it, how this goes this week for them against New York.
They'll probably win, but if they win ugly, it's not looking too good. Jay, would you move on from Matt LaFleur?
So I'd say warm. Once again, like John said, not hot. I think that the offense is inconsistent. I also think that Jordan Love just needs some pieces around him. And then I think the Packers could be just as successful as the top teams in the NFL. But I will say this, that comes with a caveat. If next season looks the same and we're still dealing with the same crap with the, inconsistencies on the offense, I think we're talking real pressure. I think we're talking the sorts he's getting hot. I think that we talk about firing.
Wow. And let's note too, Tucker Kraft, big loss for the rest of the season, the tight end. And not having a true kind of maybe a number 1 receiver or a good supporting cast around him. I think that losing Kraft, I think is going to be a big loss for them too.
Kraft is definitely their best offensive player. Maybe Josh Jacobs, but no, Kraft is definitely a big loss. And Jordan Love is an example of a good quarterback. Yes, he's more inconsistent than like a Hurts, but he needs a supporting cast around him.
Thank you for the little tiny bit of happiness you gave.
Hold on. Hold on. Jalen Hurts might be more consistent, but Jordan Love has higher highs and lower lows than Hurts.
Man. I tell you, all this slander for a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
It's not slander. It's literally just who he is. I'm being realistic, bro.
I don't know. You're talking about the highs and the lows, but the highest high, I think, in the NFL is winning the Super Bowl. But hey.
It's pretty easy to just win one game when Saquon carries you to the Super Bowl.
He didn't do anything in the Super Bowl.
That's what I mean. It's pretty easy to take over and play well for one game when you got Saquon carrying.
Just forget it. Matt LaFleur, you need to do better next year, sir, or else you're going somewhere else. Yeah, I'm over it.
5-minute warning. Let's go over everyone's favorite bet of the week. Jay Nice, go ahead.
I got the Cowboys over the Raiders to cover. I think the line was 3.5. I last saw. Obviously, when tragic situation. I think they're going to rally together coming in off the bye. They're going to be healthier, even getting an extra day, playing on Monday night. I think when tragedy strikes, the teams band together. I think they're going to go out and win in his honor. So I think that's easy cover for me for this week.
Love that. Jay?
Yeah, I'm going to have I actually have my Eagles losing this week to Detroit. I think that's just going to be one of those things that we're going to be dealing with a lot of playoff pressure and a lot of fatigue and just trying to get kind of shit back on track. Last week was ugly. So, I got the Lions taking the Lions over the Eagles.
Take the points?
Over.
Okay. You had a favorite prop bet. What was that?
Oh, my prop bet was Justin Jefferson going over 75.5. They're playing the Bears. The Bears have been inconsistent in the secondary. So, and they also have not been able to really do much against top receivers. So I'm going to go Justin Jefferson over 75.5 this week.
I love that. Originally, I was going to take the Bucks. Don't take the points against the Bills, who did struggle against Miami. But I believe in Josh Allen and McDermott, even though I give him a lot of shit. He's still a good coach, so I expect Buffalo to bounce back and to be competitive. I'm going to take the Panthers. Do not take the points. Atlanta, 3.5 favorite. Panthers on the road. This is the first time the Panthers have the opportunity to go over 500 for the first time in like 7 years. Dave Canales' third year. He needs to win, otherwise he's going to get canned. Bryce Young needs to prove he's the franchise quarterback. He's going to come out firing. Atlanta is reeling. They are so inconsistent. Raheem Morris is a mid-coach. That defense, even though they have some flashes, it's not very good. Their weapons and their offense, Zach Robinson, can't scheme anyone open. So give me the Panthers. Don't take the points. Panthers cover the spread.
Good.
All right. We have a little bit of time. 2-minute warning. So should we talk about Shedeur Sanders for a little bit?
We can definitely do that. We can go into that a little bit.
Shedeur Sanders was projected as the number 1 pick or number 2 first-round talent by many scouts, executives, analysts, whatever. And now he got dropped to the 5th round, drafted by the Browns, even though they drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. They traded away Joe Flacco. And now Dylan Gabriel is QB1 and Shedeur Sanders is QB2 on a shitty Browns team, and Shedeur can't get in the game. Jay thinks he's blacklisted. I think Shedeur has talent. I don't think he's as good as Jay thinks he can be or is. I'm not trying to slight you. I'm just saying I don't think he's that good.
I get what you're. Listen, my problem is we don't even know. Okay, and let me just say this. The NFL is absolutely, positively mishandling Shedeur Sanders, and Kevin Stefanski, he's a part of it. It's shameful, okay? We're talking about a quarterback with NFL arm talent, okay? We're talking about NFL poise. We're talking about NFL leadership. A guy who has checked every box that a young franchise QB is supposed to check, without playing at least, because he hasn't been able to play. Yet somehow he's treated like there's some mountain that he has to climb, and nobody else in his draft range, they had to climb it. Let's be real. It's not about talent. It's not about tape. It's not about measurables. It's not about anything else. It's about perception. It's about politics, and it's about who his father is. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
So let me ask this. 32 owners colluded and said, we don't like Dion. We don't like Shedeur. Let's not draft him or let's not play him. Like, is that what
do you think it makes more sense that his draft interviews were that bad that they dropped him to the 5th round? That's ridiculous.
I believe so.
Nah, bullshit. What did he do? So. What did he say in the draft? I've seen bad draft interviews. That's ridiculous. They dropped to the 5th?
Yes. But not everyone can be on the same page if it's a collusion. You know what I mean? There's always a leak. There's always someone who disagrees with something in a big group like that. I know we don't have that much time, 30 seconds, but John, what do you think?
Go ahead.
There's got to be something off the field. He's got all the arm talent. I think maybe it turned some people off a little bit. Telling the Ravens he don't draft me. He didn't want to go there. There were reports about that. The irony is he could have already played for Baltimore. Lamar gets hurt. He could have started. They could have used him instead of freaking Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley out there. I think there's got to be something that behind the scenes off the field that's turning people off.
Wish we would have known, but in the meantime, we are out of time. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. What we should do next down in the comments down below. I'm Z Shaw.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Jay Nice.
Thank you guys for watching. Tune in for the next episode. Deuces.